here, what they're doing to fix it, and what it means for real people who are trying to access news. This will have consequences for people who are trying to access health news during a pandemic. It will have consequences for all of those people who rely on Facebook to get their news, credible news, from credible sources. We don't want to see people denied access to the news that they need, particularly when it comes to health news during a pandemic. This exposes the big gap between announcement and delivery in the Morrison government. Not 24 hours ago, the Treasurer stood right here, or near here, and said that this was a historic moment, and he declared victory over the tech platforms. Now we know that this is just as much of a mess, if not more so today, than it was yesterday. The Treasurer said it was a historic moment. In many ways, he's right, but he shouldn't have declared premature victory here when there are still lots of questions to be answered, still lots of mess to be cleaned up in the interests of people who just want to access quality news via Facebook. Before I go to Michelle to add to those comments, I just wanted to say a few things about the jobs figures which are out later today. The Australian economy is emerging from the deepest, most damaging recession in almost 100 years. And when there are welcome signs, we welcome those. When there are encouraging signs, we welcome them in the economy. But the government needs to acknowledge, no matter what the jobs figure says today, that people are still struggling in our economy. There are still workers, small businesses, industries and communities which have not recovered from the deepest recession in almost a century. We still have around 2 million Australians either unemployed or underemployed. We have 1.3 million Australians on the JobKeeper payment. 100,000 Australians are expected to lose their job when JobKeeper ends, according to the Commonwealth Treasury. So we don't know what the number will say at 11:30 about the unemployment rate, but we do know that Australians are struggling. Millions of Australians can't get the work that they need to provide for their loved ones. Millions more can't get access to the kinds of wages that they need to get ahead when they work hard. So we don't know what the number will say, but this is clear. The government's plans to cut wages, attack job security, cut super, and their budget riddled with rorts will not provide the jobs and opportunities that Australians desperately need.